Midweek update time, and we are reversing several of yesterday's pivots after rebalancing ownership, matchup quality, and news-driven confidence. Quarterback first, and we are moving off Joe Burrow and back to Drake May at 6,800 against the Jets, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 28. The why is threefold. One, his dash rank is 100 with 22 projected points, and he has banked 29, 22, and 19 in his last three with a 21 fantasy points per game baseline, so the floor plus ceiling combo is intact at this price. Two, his visibility is peaking for the right reasons, with the MVP conversation including him alongside Matthew Stafford and Josh Allen, and Pro Bowl fan voting putting him right behind Josh Allen per recent coverage, which signals sustained volume and trust. 3. The fire from the Ravens, no call that he publicly complained about, per Essentially Sports is exactly the chip we want in a divisional spot. At 19.1% ownership, we are comfortable riding elite projection in a soft overall matchup. For value quarterback, we are reopening Geno Smith at 4,400 against the Giants, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 29. This is a salary leverage play, only if he is confirmed in, given the earlier shoulder headlines. Projection sits at 15 with recent 15, 0, and 9, and ownership is just 2.37%. The news cycle has been harsh, from Antonio Pierce calling out accountability to Pete Carroll's firm but supportive stance on his future, which tends to depress ownership. If he draws the start, we can take the low-owned shot in a favorable overall matchup while using the savings to pay up elsewhere. Running back, we are reversing yesterday's Chase Brown stance and moving back to Ashton Ginty at 6,100 against the Giants, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 29. The rationale is role consolidation and matchup. Ginty carries a dash rank of 100 with a 19-point projection and just put up 35 after 8 and 6 in the 2 games prior, reminding us of the explosive ceiling. The news fits our thesis, too. He publicly outlined a back-to-basics approach after the Raiders moved on from the high-priced OC, saying run the ball and play action are the focus, per Essentially Sports. That aligns with how we expect them to attack a soft overall defense. Ownership is 19.2%, which is fine given the price and ceiling. Our value running back remains Sean Tucker at 4,200 against the Dolphins, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 21. No change from yesterday. Projection is 4 with recent 6, 7, and 9. Ownership sits at 1.27%, and the volatility is the feature at this salary. He has already shown spike week capability per multiple fantasy write-ups that used him as a poster child for unpredictability, which is exactly what we want in a punt. Wide receiver, we are adding Chris Olave at 7,200 against the Titans, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 27. This is a leverage and roll bet. Dash rank 100 with a 17-point projection, recent 40, 21, and 6. And ownership just 4.67% is a strong tournament profile. The news supports a target bump too, with Rashid Shaheed dealt to Seattle and Olave publicly reaffirming his long-term stance with New Orleans. The runway for premium usage is there, and he gets a soft overall matchup to exploit. For value receiver, we are moving back to Jerry Jeudy at 4,000 against the Steelers, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 25. Projection is 8 with recent 4, 4, and 17. And ownership is just 1.73%. The Browns' passing room has been noisy with Shedeur Sanders in the headlines and analysts grading his early starts, plus Jeudy catching heat after a rough outing versus Chicago. That combination typically buys us a discount on a talented route runner in a soft overall matchup. We will take it at sub 2%. Tight end is a full reversal. Back to Trey McBride at 7,500 against the Bengals, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 31. This is a bet on elite roll and matchup, despite ownership. McBride's dash rank is 100 with a 19-point projection, and recent 7, 40, and 11. He is chasing records, leading tight ends in key categories per recent pieces, and even the odd fine story underscores that he is constantly in the mix. At 22.1% ownership, we are willing to eat some chalk because the Bengals are one of the worst defenses overall, and he profiles as the slate's most reliable tight end ceiling. If you need a punt at tight end in builds where you spend elsewhere, Elijah Higgins at 2,500 against those same Bengals, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 31, is viable. Projection is 4, with recent 16, 1, and 1, and ownership is effectively sub 1%. He gives you cheap access to the same soft overall matchup in lineups that fade. McBride Flex Spot is an upgrade for Brian Thomas Jr. at 5,200 against the Colts, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 22. We kept him in the pool yesterday, and today we are making him a priority flex because the market is still sleeping. Dash rank 100 with an 11-point projection, recent 4, 17, and 12, ownership at essentially 0, and supportive news all point the same direction. PFF has the revamped Jaguars receiver room inside the top 16 heading into 2025, and multiple reports label Thomas an emerging star. We will leverage the soft overall matchup and the 0% tag. Defense. We are moving back to the Patriots at 3,900 against the Jets, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 29. This correlates cleanly with our Drake May stance. Projection is 8 with recent 5, -2, and 9, and ownership sits at 11.2%. Divisional game, soft overall opponent, and a rookie quarterback playing with an edge, per the recent controversy piece, give us sack and turnover paths. If you need salary relief, the Cardinals at 2,300 against the Bengals, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 27, project at 5 with recent 5, -1, and -4, and 1.73% ownership. But we prefer them only in builds that do not bet on Cincinnati. Quick recap of what changed and why. We shifted quarterback exposure from Joe Burrow back to Drake May because the Jets present one of the worst defenses overall. His projection and recent form are elite, and the news cycle around MVP chatter, Pro Bowl voting, and the Ravens' no call gives us confidence at manageable ownership. We reversed running back to Ashton Jeanty because of the soft overall matchup, the ceiling game on the books, and his own comments about a run and play action focus after the coordinator change. We added Chris Olave as a core receiver on low ownership with the Titans as one of the worst defenses overall and post-trade target runway. We flipped tight end back to Trey McBride to embrace the premier combination of role and a soft overall matchup, while keeping Elijah Higgins as the punt. We elevated Brian Thomas Jr. from pool to priority flex on near-zero ownership in a favorable overall matchup. And we returned to the Patriots' defense to correlate with May against a Jets team that has one of the worst defenses overall. Drop your favorite low-owned bringback to a Patriots stack in the comments, and we will adjust cores again if late-week reports shift Geno Smith's status or create unexpected value elsewhere.